Today at the farm, making a dam out of these big sleepers. Got all the tools and the last few bits on the tractor. The basic plan is to form 2 columns out of sleepers that we can then mount other sleepers across to form a dam that we can adjust the level of as we go, and then in winter time raise it up even higher to prevent any back flooding from the river when the river's in flood. Should, fingers crossed, be pretty simple to do and only really require digging a hole and screwing some of these together with a few metal brackets. I would be tempted just to backfill them and pack them, but I'm going to be using post mix because we're going to be building a bit of a concrete retaining wall on the inside edge too at a later date. Obviously these are pretty heavy bits of wood. That's what I've needed to get the tractor to bring them down here. I think each one weighs about 30-40 kilos or something. No way we wanted to be carrying them the 500 meters to get down here. Obviously, if you don't have a little tractor, all of this stuff I'm doing now is handballable. You can carry it, it's just a bit more effort. I think I'm just going to strim now, just clear the area where we're going to build it basically, and then should be high-reach. So that's the strimming done. I'll show you a closer look in a sec, but you'll see I previously dug, when I had a mini digger here, down to the clay layer in this field. So when we put this dam in, we're starting at where it's a waterproof layer. Probably just about make out, but this is actually wet at the bottom of here still, clearly at the water table level. I think we are literally just gonna punch a hole here and punch a hole here, get some posts in the ground. But first I'm gonna take these sleepers and fabricate a bit of a block like this, and then when we've got some sort of structure like this, we've got a nice space in the middle so we can slide the sleepers in and out, fingers crossed. All right. Get that splinter out myself. Fucking hell, that was much deeper than I thought. Oh, right then. Get these metal brackets on this first piece. Look at that caterpillar that's crawled across my foot. State of that. Cheers, pal. Get in the work zone. I actually think this is going to be less brackets than I thought. We'll just need to be 1 at either end and then 2 in the middle. I should hold it relatively steady. And then at least we can pack it with clay, and then water pressure itself should keep it there. And we can put some wedges in that basically they can be chipped out rather than the whole beam. Rock solid. Accidentally made a nice bench. Oh, lovely and strong. Oh, it's quite a lot of screws this is. And I kind of do feel all of these won't really make a difference once it's buried in at the sides. Oh no, it's clay, isn't it? So this is going to be a joke. I'm going to get the actual shovel. This is doing my fucking nutting. I've hit my knuckle 3 times and I'm fucking getting angry. I'm getting really sick of you! So time to switch tools. Oh my God. That went in so easy. This is pure clay now. Ideal though to be right on the clay layer. Hopefully means we'll have it sealed, no leaking. I'm hitting the proper clay now. A lot of oxygen deprived organic matter. Make pots out of this stuff. I think I need to go a little bit deeper, but not much deeper than that because of having a concrete plug. Oh, I might need to take more out. He's been a special boy. Right, sorted. I think it's a good job this saw's so easy to dig. I actually think I found some peat here already. That is good peat there. Okay, next one in. Okay, right, we're in. That's just broke the shovel, isn't it? Accidents happen. Good job it wasn't me standing behind it. Oh, look at that, it's even better for digging holes now. Oh, I'm sweaty, man. Sweaty, sweaty, man. I thought that was a broken ankle then. Oh, slightly off. I'll just check that it's spaced right. Oh, about there. It's spaced right. Let's get some cement in this hole. Just going to pour this in and then put bags straight in. And I've managed to get them like basically perfectly level without even trying. I could end up with this being high enough to be a hydroponic windmill dam in the winter time, I think, by how it fills up at the drainage ditch at the other end. Just roughly eyeballing that with the spirit level. So this is going to be 6, so 6 should be high enough to see where we're at basically. We'll probably cut another 3 of them, so we'll have 9 in total for building back up in the winter time, etc. So we're sliding in these bits of sleepers now, and they're going to act as the level for the dam, for the weir. Pretty much we're going to be building it up to this height, which is where it should fill in winter time max and prevent flooding backflowing into the pond. So this is the basic structure for the dam done now. As you can see, this is a bit of a tight squeeze for these big bits, but I built it in such a way that it fits in nicely behind the first layer, and I can then wedge the first layer firm against the edge long term. So I'll just need to cut a couple more of these to finish this off. But you can probably just about make out the very bottom is still soil. I've basically just dug out the post holes for now. I need to take that last bit of soil out, create a concrete bottom, and then we can reslot these, and then we're going to have a wall connected to that edge that comes out to where I am now, and then one on the opposite side, and we're going to build that again on the other side into the pond. And that's because you can just about make out I've started a bit of a bank here, but in between those V's, so to speak, we're going to have a big earth bank, which is going to be a lot of spoil from digging the pond itself. That's going to create a nice big barrier that hopefully should hold water. Depends how much clay we've got in here, which I suspect is quite a bit, to be honest, from test holes I've dug and such. And then we're going to wrap it the same on this side with a good big earth bank as well. So it'll be almost head height. And then we're going to go all the way over here in a bit of a smooth curve. And if you can just about make out there, we've got a nice silver birch. We'll end it there. And then from that point on, the earth bank will basically meet the actual level of the hill that we've got there already. So we'll end up with smooth curve transition into the natural hillside is the plan. We've got a lot of soil to play with, so we should be able to do it pretty smooth, pretty nice, so it all looks like it's natural and meant to be there, because we've got to put the soil somewhere. The council wanted me to just put it all in one big dump around the edge, basically a 4 metre high earth bank, but I'm obviously not wanting that. I don't want to close everything off too much, so we're going to, like I say, try and make it a bit aesthetic, raise up a few areas, flatten out a few bits of the field and stuff, which will make it easier to graze the animals on and the chickens, moving those chicken tractors around. And obviously, mentioned in other videos before, we've got to fill in the old pond, which the council took away the planning permission for, because we didn't fill in the right paperwork. So a lot of the spoil from this will end up filling that. And again, we'll create a fairly levelish area in that other field that will be usable for something at a later date. So pretty much when we've got the next part done with the earth bank and the walls in and stuff, this should hold water behind here with the minor adjustment of a bit of clay poked in the back of this just to seal any air gaps. But then we should have raised the water up a good foot or two, even 3-4 foot when we're talking about the height compared to the river, and then we'll have a good amount of fall to hopefully install some sort of water wheel here. Now, this will be determined basically on how much water this actually holds, what level we get to, as to what the size of the water wheel we can do. But fingers crossed to be able to do one of at least 1 or 2 meters diameter, which should then be able to give us a good amount of power in the wintertime from a hydroelectric turbine. Probably start out with a little car alternator or something, but as you've probably seen on eBay before, you can get these sorts of motors for relatively cheap now. So if we get the actual wheel working and spinning and making some juice, we'll put a bigger one on, see if we can actually then tap that into the main off-grid system, give us some winter charging, which we desperately need when the sun goes away in the winter time. The basic plan would be to shepherd the water that flows over this lip that direction somehow, and then we have a water wheel here that spins this way and then goes into the drainage ditch that we've already got. Now, it's obviously going to require a bit more construction over this side. Fingers crossed we can just do it out of sort of a timber frame, but because this area floods, we might have to build it out of earth bags, bit of cement, maybe even a few bits of steel to make it last long term. But we'll probably just make a wood one to start with, just to make sure the concept works. But as I said, all that depends on if winter time comes and our little dam here can hold water. Pretty much this whole area that's green all the way over to that silver birch there is going to be pond. So we're going to have a hell of a load of topsoil to be spreading out, as I've just mentioned, and we're going to have quite a lot of clay. Hopefully we're going to get some peat out of it, we're going to get some sand out of it, and like I say, big pile of clay so we can be making some things ourselves. But ideal world, we get the peat out of it and some nice sand out of it. That's something I should be able to sell and recoup some of the costs of actually digging this pond.